What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and today I'll be talking about the Pelicans offense. I've been impressed by it this year, and they're ranked 7th in offensive efficiency, and this year they've been able to leverage their two stars and put it all together on offense. So, let's get to it. I've been impressed with their transition and early offense, and they're able to take advantage of cross-match as well. So on this play, you notice that Boogie has switched onto a wing, and when he contests the shot, he's able to take advantage of that mismatch on the other end of the floor when the Bucks aren't able to switch back. The Pelicans push it a bit, and Boogie seals off Middleton and gets the pass and gets fouled. So that's what a cross match is, taking advantage of a mismatch when in transition the defense isn't able to switch to their preferred matchups. And Davis in particular is good at this because he's good at switching on to perimeter players, and when he blocks the shot here, he's able to run down the court, seal inside, and get the over-the-top pass over a smaller defender, though he can't finish. But the Pelicans don't simply look for that early duck-in or post-up when Davis or Cousins has a mismatch. They, of course, can take advantage of players their own size as well because they're just that good. And that's what Davis does here, ducking in, sealing off Porzingis in semi-transition, and Rondo finds him on the pass. Another way they score in transition is with a pitch back, and this is what I mean. Rondo will get ahead of the defense, and he's really good at this, and then he'll look to pitch it back to a trailing player for a three. Rondo still makes an impact with his elite passing, and this is great stuff here, as when he gets up in transition, he notices that Jack is sacking off Holiday just a bit, so not only will he pitch it to Holiday, he'll screen Jack at the same time, freeing up Holiday. This time, he'll fake a pitch to Davis and end up pitching to Cousins, and while Cousins doesn't take the trail three, now he's in great position to attack Mozgov, attacking before the defense is set. They have a bunch of smart players which allows for plays like this. So Holiday sees that Rondo wants to pitch it to Cousins, so he'll cut through, freeing up space, and when he cuts through, he also sets a screen on Mozgov, ensuring Cousins gets a clean look. They're quite good at these pin-in screens, and on this play you see Thon Maker sags a bit off Cousins, which is his natural instinct being the center, so Nelson makes a heads-up play and sets a pin-in screen on Maker, and Holiday finds Cousins. Now let's move on to early offense, and their main setup is to get it to Cousins on top. And what they like to do then, usually, is have the guard on the wing, backdoor cut, and the guard in the corner fill up. And here, Cousins nicely finds more on the backdoor cut. This works because 1, Cousins is a really good passer, and 2, the spacing is excellent. Having the center operate with the ball means Henson can't sag in the paint as he must respect Cousins as an offensive player. On this play, you see Holiday actually doesn't go with a straight backdoor cut, but he looks to sell a screen and then slip it to the basket, and this is effective here, and he gets it and gets a good look. If the guard isn't open backdoor, as I mentioned, the next progression is for the guard in the corner to come up, and he'll receive a dribble handoff from Cousins, and here when the Knicks switch the screen, Cousins gets it in the post, but good defense by Lance Thomas to get the jump ball. Here it's Davis on the wing, and he'll nicely play like a guard and screen down for Holiday to come up and get that dribble handoff with Cousins. Great action early in the shot clock, and Moore gets a corner three. Notice here how they get it to Cousins in the backcourt, and he'll dribble it up the rest of the way. And there's also some room for improvisation as well, and this is good stuff from Holiday. Instead of simply going to the corner, he'll stop and set a back screen for Cunningham. This is very tough to defend in semi-transition. I can't emphasize enough how important the spacing aspect of it is. Having a center who can shoot threes for 48 minutes of the game allows Holiday in particular to attack the basket with the floor spread. Here he attacks an early offense, and with Davis on top, his man doesn't want to help too much because Davis can hit that three and Holiday has a free lane with no rim protection. Now let's talk about half-court offense, and one key is that they can move the ball effectively. They're not always the Spurs whipping it around the court, but when they do create some sort of an advantage, they move it well with the floor spread and can execute a drive and kick game. As we watch this beautiful play again, Cunningham was able to score so easily as Cousins was spreading the floor, taking away a potential rim protector, leaving the lane pretty much wide open. There's also something to be said that there's no one in the rotation who can't pass or is a rookie who's not anticipating the game yet. All of their players are experienced and were able to make capable passes, and here Davis makes a nice kick-out pass. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but every team runs the high pick and roll, and being able to have the spacing to run a high pick and roll with 3 shooters spreading the floor is key, and it's very tough to defend. They're also a good cutting team, and they're ranked 11th in cut frequency, meaning that on 7.4% of their possessions, they take a shot off of a cut in the half court, and they're ranked 5th in points per possession scored off of cuts. Holiday is their best cutter, and when a teammate drives baseline, he's really good at cutting, and this is a good example. On the baseline drive, Giannis comes off of Davis in the corner to help, and so Bledsoe will zone between Holiday and Davis on the weak side. This is a common defensive mechanism. So what Holiday will do is make it impossible for Bledsoe to guard 2 players at once by cutting toward the basket, and he gets the score. They're very active cutters on post-ups as Davis and Cousins will often be doubled, and here when Bledsoe doubles Cousins, Holiday sees an opportunity to cut baseline. Here Cousins doesn't get it to him, but later on the possession, Gary Payton is caught ball watching, so Rondo cuts in front of him and then finds Davis on a cut. A lot goes on this play, so ball in the post, and LeVert looks as if he's going to come off of Nelson to double. So Nelson is proactive and cuts, and Quincy Acey will come off of Cunningham to tag Nelson so he's not open. And Cunningham does a nice job of looking to cut into the lane to get the pass. He's not open, but now that allows Clark to move to the open spot in the now unoccupied corner, and he hits the 3. This all happens within a few seconds, and it's great movement without the ball and a nice job by Davis to find the open man. Moving on, and a great example of how Davis and Cousins have been able to fit in is how they're now using high-lows on a relatively frequent basis. This isn't something you saw a ton last year, and they have good chemistry on these. Here in early offense, Boogie gets it on top, and an option is for Davis to duck in when he sees the opportunity, and Boogie finds him on the high-low. Here we have an end of game scenario, so Pelicans are down 2 with 10 seconds left, and what's the play they go to? A Cousins-Davis pick and roll where Davis will ball screen for Cousins, and then when the Knicks switch, they score on a nice high-low. They're even putting together plays like this, where in early offense, Davis looks to ball screen for Cousins, but then he looks to fool his defender by slipping it toward the basket, and Cousins delivers a perfect pass for the oop. And of course, when the defense gets more intense late in a game, in clutch scenarios, Davis and Cousins are great creators one-on-one, and having guys who can create shots out of nothing, obviously extremely valuable and a big part of the Pelicans' success, just having the talent. They also have a promising shot distribution. They don't take a lot of mid-range shots, they take more shots at the rim instead, and this is good to see, and even when they do take shots in the mid-range, it's usually from Davis, who's an excellent mid-range shooter. The one thing about their offense is that they turn it over a decent amount, often due to careless passes, and if they can clean up plays like this a bit, that would make their offense even more effective. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.